All right, they want us to create a relative frequency table using 5 classes, and they give us this data here. Okay, and what this data is, it's the number of calls from motorists per day for roadside service in the month of December 2003. Okay, so one thing to note is that there are 31 days in December, and there are 31 values here, data values. First thing we need to do is we need to sort this data. Okay, now this might take a minute, so go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to write all these numbers from smallest to largest. All right, so here are our values. I put them smallest to largest, and then this is going to be our table. And the first thing I want in my table, notice that we have 5 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And first thing I want to do is I want to put my lower limit, and then I want to put my upper limit. So if I need 5 classes to fit all of these values, I need to find the difference between my highest value, 217, and my lowest value, 28. And I need to make 5 classes with the amount of that difference. So I'm going to take 217 and I'm going to subtract 28, and the difference between those two is going to be 189. And then I need 5 classes with 189 values throughout. So I'm going to take my 189 and I'm going to divide by 5, and that's going to tell me that I need, well, it comes out to 37.8. Okay, so I need to make sure it'll fit. I'm going to round up to 38, and I'm going to need 38 values per class. Okay, so this is, you have to think about this right here. My lower limit, I need to include the smallest number, which is 28. Now that's one value. So if I need 38 values here, I already have the 1. So I only need to go up 37 more. Okay, so 28 plus 37 is going to give me 65. Okay, so anything between 28 and 65, including those numbers, is going to go in this class. My next class goes to the next value, which is 66. Okay, that's one value. I need to include 37 more values. So 66 plus 37 is 103. All right, next value would go in the next class, which is 104. That's one value in this class here. I need to include 37 more, which would give me 141. Next value is 142. I need to include 38 values here. So including this one, 37 more, it's going to be 179. Anything above 179 would start with 180. And then I need to make 38 here. 180 is 1, 37 more is 217. Okay, now I just happen to get lucky here that 217 is the largest number. That might not happen. This number will have to be bigger than 217 in a lot of cases, and you still just record it here even if you don't go all the way up to this number. All right. Now we need to just count them up to find the frequency of data values within each class. Okay, the last step is going to be the relative frequency. So to find the frequency, we really just count them up. Sometimes you'll use tick marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in this case, we can just count them up. So let's look between 28 and 65. That's going to be 2. 66 to 103 is going to include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 104 to 141 is going to include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 142 to 179 is going to include 1, 2, 3. And 180 to a 217 is going to include 3. Okay, and if you want to check, you add these up, right? The sum of all of these should give you 31, okay, because we have 31 data values. All right, and now the column that we're really looking for is the relative frequency, okay, and we're going to put that right here. All right, now relative frequency says, hey, in this class, how many have happened compared to the whole? Okay, well, we've had 2 out of how many total? 31. So the relative frequency here is 2 out of 31. Sometimes they will ask you for an unsimplified fraction. We're going to do those first. But other times they might ask you for a decimal, and I'll put the decimal values over here. Usually we simplify our decimal values to 2 values if it runs over. Okay, so first class, 28 to 65, had 2 data values, and that relative frequency is 2 out of 31. The next one is 13 out of 31, 10 out of 31, 3 out of 31, and 3 out of 31. Okay, so you might want to just stop here, depending on how the question is asked, but they might also ask you to turn it into a decimal, in which case 2 divided by 31, that is 0.064551629. Okay, and we're going to turn that into 2 decimal places. So we're going to stop it right here. We round it there. We look to the right. It's not big enough to make it be 7, so it's going to be 6. All right, 0.06. Now let's do 13 divided by 31. That's going to give us 0.41935, and on and on and on. We only care up to 2 decimal places. Round this 1. I look to the right, I see a 9, so I'm going to go up. That is 0.42. All right, 10 out of 31. 10 divided by 31 is 0.32258, and on and on and on. We're going to round to this place. 4 or less, let it rest, so we have 0.32. 3 divided by 31 is 0.096774, and on. 2 decimal places would be the 9. Look to the right. 5 or more, raise the score. So instead of 0.09, it's going to be 0.10. Okay, you might also see that written as 0.1. And then 3 out of 31 is the same thing. And so this would be 0.10 also. And that is our relative frequency table.